Chapter 3. At another time he entered the Jewish learning center. There was a man present who had a shriveled hand. They were watching him to see if he would heal him on the Shabbat day, so that they might put him to the test. He said to the man with the withered hand, "Stand in the middle of the people." Then he said to them, "Is it permitted to do good or to do wrong on the Shabbat day, to save a life or to lose it?" So they kept silent. After looking around at them with deep anguish, grieved at their hardness of heart, he said to the man, "Stretch out your hand." When he stretched it out, his hand was fully healed. The spiritual leaders went out and immediately started discussing with the Herodians about him as to how they might do away with him. Yeshua withdrew to the lake with his disciples. A great crowd of people from the Galilee followed, as well as some from Yehuda, Jerusalem, Idumea, beyond the Jordan, and the region of Zor and Zidon. A sizable number of people heard all about what he was doing and came to him. With that, he told his disciples to keep a small boat ready for him because of the crowd of people, so that they would not crush him. Because he had healed many, the result was that all those who had sicknesses pressed around him in order to touch him. Whenever the unclean spirits saw him, they would fall down before him and scream, "You are the Son of God." Then he strictly ordered them not to tell who he was. So he went up on the mountain and called together those whom he himself wanted, and they came to him. So he appointed 12 that they would be with him, and that he might send them out to preach, and to have authority to force out the demons. After that he commissioned the 12, Shimon, to whom he gave the name Kepha, Yaakov, the son of Zadai, Yohanan, the brother of Yaakov. To them he gave the name Boan Regesh, which means sons of thunder, Andrew, Philip, Bartamai, Mattatyahu, Thomas, Yaakov the son of Haphi, Taddai, Shimon the Zealot, and Yehuda, man of Gariot, who betrayed him. When he came home, the crowd gathered together again to such an extent that he could not even eat a meal. When his own family heard about it, they went over to take him away, because they were saying, "He is beside himself." The scribes who came down from Jerusalem were saying, "He is possessed by Baal-zebul, and he forces out the demons by the ruler of the demons." At that he called them to himself and began speaking to them with illustrations. How can Satan force out Satan? Furthermore, if a kingdom is divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. If a home is divided against itself, that home will not be able to stand. If Satan had risen up against himself and is divided, he cannot stand, but meets his end. But no one can enter the strong man's house and steal his belongings unless he first ties up the strong man, and then he will plunder his house. In solemn truth, I tell you, all sins can be forgiven all people and whatever blasphemies they might say. But the individual who blasphemes against the Holy Spirit never has forgiveness and is guilty of an eternal sin. This was because they were saying he has an unclean spirit. By this time, his mother and his brothers arrived and were standing outside. They sent a message to call him. A crowd of people were sitting around him. They told him, "Look, your mother and your brothers are outside looking for you." Answering them, he asked, "Who are my mother and my brothers?" Looking around at those who were sitting close by him, he said, "Look, my mother and my brothers. After all, whoever does the will of God, that individual is my brother, sister, and mother."